for work. He and I have very similar jobs. We're both out here on the weekends, changing lives. No, he hates it when I say that. He hates it so much. I'm always trying to talk shop with him. I'm like, hey, Jim, how was your early show? He's like, it's first service, Taylor. I'm like, well, I just noticed you had a heckler on the late one. He goes, that person was yelling amen and hallelujah to agree. I'm like, that's the worst kind of heckler, Jim, because they're being supportive, but they're still disrupting your flow, right? I go, I donate 10% of what I make, too. He's like, to who? I'm like, my agent, but it's still a tithe. I'm like, I'm kidding, Jim. I know we don't do the same thing. But think about this. I make them feel guilty Saturday night. You save their ass Sunday morning. I set them up. You spike the ball. You're welcome. I helped. But my Uncle Jim's like a great pastor. He's like very progressive. He gives really interesting sermons. We didn't have a cool pastor like my Uncle Jim growing up. Is there anyone in here who grew up religious but is not religious anymore? You're at the right show. All right, of those people, who saved people? Who spread the good news while they were religious? Ooh, bit of a drop off there. That's tough. A lot of us didn't do the homework. You saved people while you're religious, but you're not religious anymore? Okay. Do you ever feel, serious question, do you ever feel like maybe you should call those people? Just a courtesy call, like, hey, remember what I told you about forever? I don't know. What if those people get up to heaven and they're like, look, your sponsor's not in there, so we didn't know you were coming. I don't know. Are you sure? Maybe they Holy Ghosted you. We're sorry. For real, though, you got to go to hell. We're sorry about that. I never saved anybody at all. I was talking to someone who grew up Mormon. I was like, well, you guys were really saving people. And he was like, oh, yeah, baptism for the dead. You guys know what that is? I didn't know. Apparently, in Mormonism, sometimes they will save people after they've died, which really takes the pressure off of saving live people, doesn't it? When you can just go, hey, do you believe in God? And they're like, no. And you're like, that's okay. We'll wait. And then as soon as they're dead, you're like, bibbity-boppity Mormon. This is how you get a soul to heaven, right? Like you're trying to get poop smell out of your hinge date's bathroom. If you're not laughing, you're married, and fuck you, this joke's not for you. Enjoy shitting with the door open. Some of us have to carry matches everywhere. All Gen Z, they're all queer, they're all in serious relationships, and they are all so disappointed in me every time I start dating another straight white guy. They're like, come on, Taylor, fuck the patriarchy. I'm like, you guys, I'm literally fucking the patriarchy. Do you know how hard it is to continue dating straight men when you are surrounded by 3 queer relationships up close? Queer relationships are the most beautiful, thoughtful, creative things I've ever seen in my life. My sister and her partner are in a romance novel. Every time I talk to them, I'm like, hey, I know you had a hard week at work. You doing okay? And she's like, yeah, I did. So to cheer me up, my partner got me my favorite snack in a limited edition flavor. They got me a little vial of sand from the beach we went to on our first date. And you know how I always wanted an easy bake oven growing up and never got it? They found one on eBay. I'm like, oh my God, are they cheating on you? She's like, what? No, they just listen to me when I talk and remember things I say. And I'm like, what? No, go through their phone. This shit stinks. Go through their phone, trust me. She's like, okay, how are you and your boyfriend doing, Taylor? I'm like, oh, we're good. My boyfriend bought me a hot dog because he wanted one, and I was there too. You had to be there. It was so romantic. He was like, what? Sorry, too, I guess. I don't mean to shit on straight guys. You're very sweet. I've dated a lot of you, but oh my God, you are so proud of yourselves for almost nothing in a relationship. It is impressive to watch. Honestly, a straight man will put a candle in his bathroom and be like, I changed my whole life for you. And you're like, you didn't even light it, man. It kind of smells like lavender if you get down real close. I'd trade this candle for a slice of empathy, if I'm being honest with you. Have you tried to explain the concept of empathy to a tall, handsome white guy? That is a delicate conversation. You're like, okay, imagine that you're me, but I'm not. Okay. Hard to argue, touche. Imagine that you feel how I feel, but I don't. Okay. Imagine that you could feel how I feel. I never will. Okay. Imagine you're a basketball player. Okay.
What else? I like this game.
Fine. All right. So in this analogy, you're a basketball player. And you're a really great teammate. How about that? You love your team. You're loyal to your team. You do everything for your team. And your team is not noticing. Your team is not appreciating you for all you do, for the MVP that you are. And this week, your team forgot your birthday. Now, how does that make you feel? That sucks. Yes. Try and get a hot guy to empathize is like trying to get a woman to come. They're like, nobody move! We're so close. It's a car alarm. It's a car alarm. Stay focused, please. Work so hard. So anyway, I've been trying to figure out if I'm bisexual or if I think we need more gay prudes to stand up and go, I too am bisexual. I'm attracted to all of you, and I trust no one. I would, but I will not. It's also scary to say you're bisexual for the same reason it's scary to say you're suicidal. There's always going to be people who are like, if you don't go all the way, you just want attention. You know who likes that joke? Queer people. Queer people get that joke? Straight people are like, oh my God, there was so many sad words. Which is fair, you're right. No offense, straight guys. I have to say, I am so glad that straight men are not my only option anymore. That was bleak. That was tough. And it's not because you're bad people. You're just so hard to communicate with. I mean, and I tried. I've been to couples therapy with a lot of dudes. Never been married. That's embarrassing. You know how embarrassing it is to break up with someone you've been to couples therapy with? You just have to live the rest of your life with all this useless information about some dude's childhood. You're like, cool, guess I'll just go the rest of my days knowing what triggers Michael. That sucks. I also couldn't get on the same page with a lot of my boyfriends about our future. Like, I used to only want to adopt if I was going to have kids. And every straight guy I ever dated was like, no, it's going to look like me or I'll eat it. Every guy. Which, hey, I've never been a father. Maybe that's true, right? I had one boyfriend who said he would use a surrogate. He was open to that idea, which I do love the idea of a surrogate. What a power move to be like, can you just hold this for 9 months? I'm so busy. I'm getting a call. Don't eat fish. You breeze back in 9 months later. Their guts are everywhere. You have a blowout. You're like, thank you so much. Thank you. Hey, you're glowing. You're brave. Money's on the nightstand. 5 stars. Bye. You're like, that was a lot. I'm going to do no contact delivery next time, I think. Yeah, no, you're at the right place. Just leave it on the porch, take a picture, I'll come get it when you're gone. No, you're at the right house. Look, if I was an extrovert, I would have had it myself. So. It's really good. That was not the feedback I kept getting from romantic partners, by the way. That's not what finally made me get help. Every guy I've ever dated has told me I have trust issues, which is something liars say when you're onto them. You have trust issues, babe. You have a hot coworker and a locked phone, so. I have trust issues, but I earned them, okay? I absolutely earned them. Like, I got cheated on in college. My college boyfriend was sleeping with sex workers behind my back, or prostitutes if you're old and don't know that word's not okay to use anymore. Sometimes older crowd members can get confused because they're like, what is a sex worker? Is that what my granddaughter does on Instagram? And you're like, no. She's just hot. That's a FabFitFun box. That's a different thing. Your granddaughter that's not a job. That's not real. You can't say prostitute anymore. Calling a sex worker a prostitute is like calling a comedian a clown. You're not technically wrong, but you are a fucking asshole. So. But I told my therapist I got cheated on like this, and she didn't say what I wanted her to say, which was, poor baby sweetie, this session is free. Instead, she goes, well, you might be a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I was like, oh. And she's like, no, it's a bad thing. And I was like, oh. Well, then could you say I have self-fulfilling prophecy? Is Selena Gomez a self-fulfilling prophecy? And I said, what does that mean? I'm a self-fulfilling prophecy. And she goes, well, sometimes we expect someone to treat us poorly, so we treat them like they're going to treat us poorly until they do. You thought someone was going to cheat on you, so you treated them like they were going to cheat on you until they did cheat on you. And then you were like, see? And I was like, oh, so I'm a witch. And she's like, ooh, so close, you're a bitch. You gotta get that me. I'm like, whatever, all I heard was Gryffindor. I am working on my trust issues. I was so much worse when I first started seeing my therapist. I told her, like, first session, I was like, the guy I'm dating keeps answering my phone calls, hey, beautiful? And she's like, so what's the problem? I was like, I mean, I don't know yet. But when I find out who beautiful is, she's like, do you think it might be you? I was like, I'm sorry, I thought we were here to work. I think I'm cute or whatever now, but I was an ugly kid with honest parents, and that shit stays in your bones, all right? If you were an ugly kid with honest parents, I don't care how attractive you grow up to be. At any point, if someone's like, you look really nice today, you're like, yeah, whatever, I know the goddamn truth. When I was 10, I said, Dad, am I pretty? And his response was, look. I'm not the best looking guy, right? No, but I wake up every morning and I try. I take a shower, I put on a nice suit, and I do okay. And then he went to work. And I became a comedian, I guess. That was his response to his 10-year-old daughter. Just like, you and me, potato face, these are the cards we were dealt. Get clean and match. That's all you can do. Don't sleep on wet hair. Can't do that. Maybe wear a hat sometimes. Cover up some of that head. I'm sorry, there's so much of it. I think I'm pretty. I have a big head. I know I do, because every guy I've ever dated has made a point to be like, I love your big head. That's my favorite thing guys do when they compliment the thing you hate most about yourself. They're like, I love your soft arms. You're like, okay. Yeah? I love your weird balls. How does it feel? How does it feel to be accepted? I'm a nightmare to date. Anything nice you do or say, I'm just like, whatever. I dated a guy once who told me that flirting with me was like punching water. And I was like, why? Because it's pointless or because you look stupid doing it? He's like, did you hear it? I'm like, I heard it that time. Yeah. And then he cheated on me. So, prophecy fulfilled. I can't help it. At the beginning of a relationship with a guy, I just assume anything nice he does is a move he pulls on everybody. And I'm not gonna fall for your choreography, sir. I'm like, oh, is this your move? You open the car door for me on the date? This is like your move. This is how you do it. It's cute. Bet that works a lot. Oh, is this your move? You go with me to my grandpa's funeral, hold an umbrella over my head in the rain? This is like your move. This is how you do it. Like, oops, don't get wet. Oops, I am. Whatever. This ain't my first rodeo. I used to have 2 grandpas. Oh, is this your move? You die next to me in a hospital bed at 86 years old, holding my hand for all eternity? This is like your move? This is how you get pussy? He's like, we've been together for 60 years. I'm like, you're a fuckboy, and I know it. Don't bury me with this guy. He's been dying with other people behind my back. I can't prove it. Check his phone when he uses the bedpan. Now, does anyone think they have a weird sleep tip? Super weird. Oh, wow. We got a confident hand right here. What do you got? What is it? Sleep in a different city? Bitch, do you know what my job is? Sleep in a different city? Know your audience. All right, what else we got? That was not a strong start. Anybody else have anything? It's okay if nobody does. Oh, we do right here.
Yeah, one thing I found is get a very firm, advanced back support mattress.
Get a very firm mattress. Okay, do we need to hear the instructions again? If you think you have a weird sleep tip that I have never heard of, I would love for you to raise your hand and tell me, but if no one has anything, that's completely fine. We have one hand over here. What have we got, Glasses?
Cat plus Xanax.
Cat and Xanax. If you think that I don't have Xanax, this is your first show with me. Okay, all right. Well, if nobody else thinks, look, it's fine. We're okay. Well, what about here, right here? What is it? Rhythmic breathing. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna be honest. Y'all shat the bed on this one. These were some basic answers, and that's okay. What? Did someone say read a book? I'm gonna fuck you up after this show. Meet me in the parking lot. Read a book. Oh my God. Okay, right here. Wow, it's crazy that people are getting more confident as they hear other people's terrible answers. They're like, I can beat firm mattress, surely. What have you got second row? What's on your back? Vicks on your back. These are not good, you guys. Thank you for playing. All right, what is the last one? Stretch for 5 minutes! I'm never coming back to this city again. But if any of the relationships that I had in my 20s had worked out, I would not have my dream job. I would not have the career I've always wanted. And I've had a lot of cool experiences just this year as a result of being on my own. I finally got to do some shows in Europe back in April, which was a dream come true. And because I was single, instead of taking someone I was dating, I took my best friend, Courtney. Courtney's been my best friend since we were 10 years old. 20 years, she's seen me through everything. She saw me through depression in high school. She saw my first stand-up show ever. When I called off an engagement a few years ago, she kept my wedding dress in her attic like it was Jumanji. I'm like, just put this where I can't hear the drums. And she and I got to run around Europe paying for shit with my dick joke money. It was awesome. And it was really special to have her on that trip with me because exactly a year before that, last April, I was alone in a green room in Colorado, pre-show, post some breakup. And I got a call from Courtney. And I was like, hey, I thought you were on vacation with your boyfriend this weekend. And she goes, yeah, no, we are, but I just want to check in and see how you were doing. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. And I talked to her about me for 10, 15 minutes. And finally I was like, hey, you're not really saying anything about you and your trip. I mean, are you guys okay? And she goes, oh my God, yes. Oh yeah, no, we're great. We're actually, we are actually engaged. And I was like, what? Oh my God, why did you ask about me at all? And she goes, I don't know. I guess I just wanted to make sure that you were in a place where you could hear it. It was so sweet and so hurtful. I have never felt so seen and so insulted in my whole life. Her fiance was there the whole time. Oh, she's like, and then what else? She sounds stable. She sounds like she can handle it. That's how you know your best friends met the one, by the way, when you can no longer get them on the phone alone ever again. You call them late at night crying halfway through the call. They're like, by the way, you don't care that Todd's been here the whole time, right? And you're like, oh my God, no. I actually called to see if Todd thinks I have a yeast infection. So glad Todd is available. And don't get me wrong, I love my best friend's fiance. I think he's an amazing guy. If he died, would a little part of me be like, sleep over? Of course. But I really was so touched that she was thinking about me and my mental health during her engagement that I went out on stage that night and I said, before we start the show, can you guys do me a huge favor? Can we make a video for my best friend who just got engaged? And the crowd's like, yeah. So I got my phone, I put it on selfie mode, and I went 1, 2, 3. Congratulations, Courtney! Me and 2,000 people yelling it for her. And I got off stage that night and I texted her the video to say, hey, I love you. I'm so happy for you. And look at all these people who paid to see me. I'm doing just fine. I have one of Hugh Jackman's gloves. Thank you so much, DC. You were absolutely amazing. But this last breakup was different for me because this was the first breakup I had gone through since I got on Netflix. And before I was on Netflix, every time I went through a breakup, my friends were very supportive. Like, we're so sorry, we're here for you, it'll get better. Then I got on Netflix and I went through a breakup, and all my friends were like, well, I mean, you have your dream job. So, yeah, all my friends looked at my sad face and went, you can't have it all, bitch. All of them. And I was so offended. And then I thought about it for a minute and I was like, you know what? I don't want anybody to have it all either. None of us do. It's why they keep putting out Marilyn Monroe documentaries where they're like, she's actually pretty sad. And we're like, yeah, she fucking was. Nobody wants anybody to have it all. If someone has their soulmate, you don't want them to have their dream job too. If someone has their dream job, they don't get to be in love on top of that. If someone has their dream job and their soulmate, bare minimum their parents better be divorced. I'd prefer they were an orphan. Nobody wants anybody to have it all. When I was a kid, I didn't think you could have it all. When I was a kid, I thought you either got to be hot or have a good personality. I thought that's how people were divided. I thought life was fair. And that got me through a lot of ugly years as a child where I'm like, it's okay that I'm not more symmetrical because I have this great, awesome personality that will surely reveal itself any day now. It's coming with my period and my Hogwarts letter. I can feel it. And that got me all the way to 6th grade when I met my friend Krista, and she was pretty and funny and smart and nice. And that's when I stopped believing in God. But so many of my friends said a version of this to me after my last breakup that I actually started to feel really guilty. Because you know what, DC? This is my dream job. I can't believe I'm filming my 3rd Netflix special tonight. I cannot. I have been so insanely lucky in my career. And the more I thought about that, the more I was like, yeah, Taylor, nobody has every single thing going for them as a person. You have been so blessed. Be grateful for what you have. Focus on that. Nobody gets to have it all. And then I saw Hugh Jackman in person. And I was like, oh, I guess you can't have it all, but there's none left because God gave it all to Hugh. Hugh Jackman is a perfect specimen of a human man. Seeing him in person was a religious experience. It changed me. It was like seeing the Grand Canyon. I think everyone should do it at least once before they die. He is a wonder of the world, that man. It was like seeing Niagara Falls. You can bring the whole family, you get a little wet, but it's fun. It was. Here's what happened. So about a year and a half ago, we were in New York City doing shows on tour, and we had an off night in between theater shows. So me and my buddy Dustin and his wife Melissa and a few of our other friends who are also happy went to go see The Music Man on Broadway, which was starring Hugh Jackman. Was it a good show? I don't know, but Hugh Jackman was there the whole time. They should have called the show, We Got Hugh Jackman in a Room. Who wants to see him? The show was great. At the end of the show, they're doing curtain calls. All the actors are taking their bows. One of the actors steps forward and goes, you've come on a very special week because tonight we're raising money for an amazing charity called Broadway Cares. And tonight, Hugh is going to sign the pair of gloves he wore in the show. And we're going to auction them off to the highest bidder. And I looked at my friends and I was like, I mean, I have money. And they were like, really? This is what you're going to spend the Netflix money on, huh? And I was like, well, I don't have a family. There's no one else here, and I've already had braces. If I can't have it all, I'm going to have those gloves. Also, I just thought it would be hilarious as a bit because everybody asks you when you get on television, they're like, what'd you spend that money on? Did you buy a new jacket? Did you buy a new car? And I'm like, how funny would it be if my first big TV purchase was a pair of sweaty gloves worn by Wolverine, right? It's like, what am I, a man? So dumb. So I start competing in the auction, and I'm doing pretty well because I got nothing to lose and no one to live for. And I'm doing so well that it gets down to me and just 2 other bidders. It gets down to me, an older woman towards the front, and I kid you not, Jake from State Farm. That is 100% true, that detail, and I hesitate to include it because it makes the story sound like a dream I had once. He's like, so in the dream, I'm trying to get Hugh Jackman's gloves. But then Jake from State Farm's there. He thinks he's going to get them. I'm like, fat chance, commercial boy. Those gloves are mine. Then Flo from Progressive rides in on a horse for some reason. But whoops, who's that? Tony the Tiger pops a wheelie on his motorbike. All cash offer. Can't beat Tony. That's old money. So it is now down to me, this woman, and Jake. I think what happened next was, I think Jake could tell that me and this woman needed the win more than he did. So, like a good neighbor, State Farm backs out. It is now down to me and this woman. We are ping-ponging back and forth, back and forth. I think I blacked out for a minute because when I came to, we were at a number that I've not agreed to pay since college. So exactly like college, I'm like, oh, this is crazy. I'm not going to finish. As they're about to say, once, twice, sold, the woman in the front, Hugh Jackman, steps forward, stops the auctioneer, and goes, before we end the auction, I just have to say, I am so moved by the generosity of tonight's audience. You know, I have 2 gloves. If I were to sign both of them, would these 2 ladies match each other's bid? And he looked right at me. Now, I've never paid for sex. But I did drop $7,000 on eye contact with Hugh Jackman. Thank you for clapping. That joke was expensive. They're like, don't worry, it's a tax write-off. I'm like, don't worry, I will make sure that it is. I wish I could tell you that the whole time I was like, it's for charity, but the truth is I completely forgot till the end. And even then I was like barely listening. I was too busy talking to the glove like, Hugh's fingers were inside you, what was that like? He's surprisingly gentle. I knew it. I love telling that story because I can always tell who grew up in church based on who starts laughing at, you know I have too. You're like, oh, I read the Bible. I know when they're about to cut a baby in half. My biggest issue with church wasn't that they wanted us to save people. It's that they wouldn't let you make a good point, right? Anytime you were growing up in church, you were like, well, you have to admit, it was pretty messed up when God did this in the Bible. They'd be like, well, that was the Old Testament, you know? That was before God stopped drinking. Like, that was a different guy. Yeah, he's kind of a fuckboy back there, and then he had a kid, and he's like, I'm different now, you know? He's like, I was in a fraternity. Of course I was drowning people. Like, people change. Anytime you had an unanswerable question at church, they always said the same thing. They'd go, that's a great question, and we can ask God that when we get to heaven. Which, like, if you were God, how pissed would you be that they were sending people up to heaven like that with a bunch of questions for you? You're God. You made everything and everyone. You probably just want to do the ta-da heaven part. And now every time someone dies, you have to do a press conference? Every time someone dies, you're like, hey, welcome to heaven. They're like, okay, but first, God, when a kid dies, right, and they didn't say the prayer and they didn't get saved, that's an automatic heaven, right, God? You wouldn't send a kid to hell, right, God? Right, God? Right, God? Right, God? And God's like, fucking really? Seriously, dude, you're in heaven, bitch. Do you go to Disneyland? Like, hope all the workers get benefits? Like, shut up. You are a killjoy. Yes, the kids are in heaven. We muted the kids so we could all enjoy heaven, but yes. That's a dark one. I know, that's a dark one. I have a dark sense of humor, partially because I grew up in church. Church is a dark place. Every Sunday, you go to a big room where the underlying message is, won't it be great when we all get to be dead with Daddy? That's church. Can't wait to be dead with Dada. That's church. But I can't blame church entirely. When I say that I came out in the last couple of years, I just mean publicly, right? Like, I came out to friends earlier than that, but I don't think I did it right. I think I was too casual about it. I think I was supposed to do like an episode of Glee. And I just sort of mentioned it, like, oh, by the way, I think I'm going to date women now, too. And they were like, okay. Like I said I was vegan or something. Like, okay, we'll see how long that lasts. You need iron, bitch. Like, they were not... They really accepted it once I had my first girlfriend. I started dating this girl who was so hot. I was like, oh my God, am I Pete Davidson? How tall am I? And when I started dating women, it was the closest I'd come to feeling religious in a long time, because my friends would complain about their boyfriends and husbands, and I was like, oh, have you heard the good news? You don't have to live like this. There's a better way. Then once I had a girlfriend, then my friends started coming to me with a lot of their questions. They started coming to me with their millennial regrets. Do we have any Gen Z in here tonight? Oh my God! Shut up, really? Okay, everyone be cool in front of my new friends. All right. Now, Gen Z, you won't really get this because you guys are very good at exploring your identities and sexualities. You want to know who you are and what you're capable of. And what you have to understand about us millennials is we wake up every day and look in the mirror like, shh. Don't feel joy outside. You'll upset Mama and Papa. Just wait. Be free in death. Wait. Those are our morning affirmations. So we're dealing with a lot. We're repressing a lot. So I had a lot of female friends in their 30s and 40s who were like, I wish I had dated women, but they ended up with a man and they were happy, but they're like, I wish I had done that. And so they were asking me a lot of personal questions like, is it better having sex with women? And I was like, do you really want me to tell you? Because you said you were pretty locked in with that guy. And they're like, no, like, is it really different? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, well, how? So here's what I said. My parents don't watch me do stand-up anymore. Don't worry. Don't worry. They're not interested. No Christian parents want to watch their daughter talk about depression and dick for an hour. It's not fun for them. My parents don't have a dark sense of humor, and I do, and I'm glad I do, because if you can laugh at the darkest stuff that's ever happened to you while it's still actively happening to you, sometimes that's what gets you through it. For example, here's a joke they will not like. Did you guys know that sometimes when you call a suicide hotline and the call drops, they do not call you back? Yeah, you think that'd be the time for star 69, but sometimes they just ring a bell in the cubicle like, lost another one, that's lunch. Some of you are tensing up like, did that really happen? Yeah, a few years ago, and it was fucking hilarious. I was on the floor of a DoubleTree hotel like, did this bitch just ghost me while I'm trying to ghost myself? That is, I've been left on red. I've never been left for dead. That's a new one. That is brutal. I wasn't even mad. For all I know, that's how they train those volunteers. Like, hey, some nights we get too many calls. Fridays are big for us. In those situations, you're just going to have to use your best judgment, all right? Like, I usually wait for, like, a privileged white girl name, like a Chelsea, a Kelsey, a Taylor. Those are the salmon I throw back and hope they swim upstream on their own. Even if I was mad, what am I going to do? Hop on Yelp? Like, 1 star, totally killed myself. You're going to wish I killed myself after this reveal. I did that joke in Texas a few weeks ago, and there was a girl, white, my age, in the crowd who goes, and the wait times are ridiculous. And she's right, okay? I think if you were a frequent caller, there should be some sort of rewards program. Like when you show loyalty to an airline. Like, you should be able to do that with suicide hotlines where you call in and they're like, please enter your rewards number. Boop, 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 boop. Welcome back. Taylor. Thank you for your diamond medallion status. You are now 3rd in line. Would you like to use an upgrade and kick someone else out? My parents are still very, very religious. But that's why we're in therapy. People are scared to go to therapy because they think it's someone sitting in a chair going, you suck. But it's not. It's you in a chair going, I suck. And then your therapist is like, that's great. Let's start there. Therapy just helps you get to the bottom of why you're trash, okay? You go into therapy and you're like, here's all the stuff that sucks about me. And she goes, okay. And she puts it all up on the wall like you're solving a crime together. Fun! And then she gets some of that red string that detectives use at home when they've been thrown off the case for going rogue. And she starts connecting each crappy thing about you to each one of your corresponding childhood traumas. And you're like, oh my God, that's why I'm like this. And she's like, that's why you're like this. And you're like, am I fixed now? And she's like, God, no. No. You're like, well, what do I do now? She's like, well, you keep coming back in here every week with your credit card. And you're like, what? Well, will I ever be fixed? She's like, I don't know, bring your credit card. I've got to the bottom of a lot of stuff in therapy. I'm an emotional eater. I don't know if anybody else identifies with that. Cool, 7 people. Everyone else is like, no, we just eat till we're almost full, and then we thank God for the opportunity, okay? Food is just fuel for me. If you're one of those, fuck right off, for real. I'll refund your money. I don't need your support. I'm doing fine. If you don't know what an emotional eater is, it just means you like eat to cope with uncomfortable feelings. So if I'm like sad or anxious or awake, I'd like to be eating to take the edge off. If you still don't know if that's you, you can ask yourself a few questions to find out. Number 1, when you eat nachos in public, do you get kind of mad that other people are there to see it? Do you feel like nachos should come with a privacy curtain? I do. Have all the best meals of your life taken place in your own car around 11 p.m. under a flickering street lamp? Have you ever eaten a brownie while you felt okay and wished you were sad so that it tasted better? Sounds like more than 7 of us. I actually did get into a new relationship pretty quickly after I called off my engagement. I wasn't trying to. I really wasn't. A lot of my friends were like, you should stay single for a while. You should maybe get a cat. And I was like, hard pass. I have never left an interaction with a cat feeling better about who I was. Every cat reacts to people the way I react to seeing girls I went to middle school with in a Target. Just like, oh no! Like that's every cat. I don't want to come home to that energy. But I wasn't looking for a relationship. I was trying to have like a fun, sexy fling, which doesn't usually go great for me because I have this round, wholesome face that people think they should build a life with. Every time I'm like, we could bone or whatever, guys are like, no, I'm all right. But you could meet my mom. Do you want to do that? You seem like you'd be better at meeting my mom than having sex. And they are not wrong, all right? I will meet your mom all night long. Moms like me so much for no reason. I was dating a guy years ago. We were totally on the rocks having problems. And I went to lunch with his mom hoping to get some advice. And halfway through lunch, she puts her hand on my hand and goes, you know, Taylor, my son's a lot like his father. And if I could go back in time, I don't know that I'd marry his father again. And I was like, are you saving my life in this Panera Bread right now? It was like a movie when an older character sacrifices themselves for the good of the journey. Like, she Gandalf'd me. She's like, fly, you fool! She was a bad mom and a bad wife, but such a good friend. Oh my God. Hoes before sons, am I right? I think about her every day. And my boyfriend wasn't looking for a relationship either when we met. Straight dudes usually aren't, you know? Women are surprised when they find a guy who can make them come, and straight dudes are surprised when they find a girl who can make them feel genuine feelings in their heart. Like, women are like, he got me off 3 times, and guys are like, I mean, I just fucking like her, dude. Like... Like, we talked all day. I didn't want to hit her. It was nuts. She's just like my friend. I don't know. I want to, like, lick her heart, I think. Straight dudes are so proud of themselves for falling in love. It's really cute. They're like, I love you. Hell yeah, buddy, I knew you could get there. Women fall in love, we're like, I love you. Fucking again, you dumb bitch. You were supposed to love you first. You keep skipping that part. It is eat, pray, then love. Oh, God, it's okay. We'll try again in a year and a half. My boyfriend is 7 years older than me because I need to get back at my dad for some stuff. Older guys are just better. They're just better. You never have to ask them to buy Pepto-Bismol. They just have it in the house. They pull it out after dinner like a nightcap. Like, you want some pink juice, baby girl? You're like, yes, they would. Cheers. Older guys don't call you things like cute or hot. They call you things like stunning, gorgeous, shit with syllables. Things that would take a 20-something guy a little while to sound out. And older guys aren't like cute or hot either. You know, they're handsome, distinguished, like old pictures of your grandpa you shouldn't look at too long. You ever find one of those in an old dusty box? You're like, who is that? Oh, that's wrong. Okay. They're not your family in those pictures yet. They're just the past. It is a gray area. Oh, I'll get weirder. You ever see a picture of your parents when they were young and hot and you get like weirdly mad because you know they would have never dated you? I saw a picture of my dad in college football once. I didn't talk to him for 3 weeks. I'm like, you would have left me at a drive-in, you Danny Zuko piece of shit. He's like, what? I'm like, I can't hug you for a year and I don't want to talk about it. He came out, he goes, thought he found a new angle, right? He comes out, he goes, you know, we always kind of rush through the Christmas story, don't we? Since we all know it so well. But if you ever really stop to think about what this must have been like for Mary, and all the women were like, oh, and all the men were like, no. Which one's Mary again? Oh, are you talking about the vessel? You talking about the hole we put the Lord in? You talking about the Jesus jar? You talking about the Christ cubby? You talking about the Savior sack? You talking about the prophet pocket? We could keep going, but we have to move on. But that's a fun game to play to come down from the cousin fight, if you want. That Mary POV sermon went over so well for him that he came out the next year all excited. Like last year we talked about what it must have been like for Mary to find out she was pregnant with Jesus. But have you ever stopped to think about what this must have been like for Joseph? And all the men were like, finally! Representation! I also think whores are lying to me! Joseph was Mary's betrothed at the time. Again, I don't assume everybody knows all the Bible stories. You grew up in church, you're like, everybody's learning these. Nope, some kids were having childhoods on their bikes. Yeah. Is there anyone in here who never went to church, has never believed in God, never been religious at all? Wow, all in the back. That checks out. That checks out. Well, you sound very at peace. You sound so relaxed, but how do you know right from wrong? How do you not kill people? Some Christians talk like that. My dad growing up was like, you know, if I weren't a Christian, I'd be in jail. And I'm like, whoa, I'm 6. Let's do Goodnight Moon tomorrow instead of Dad's Dark Thoughts. Some Christians walk around like, yeah, if Sky Dad didn't have me on house arrest, there'd be some mud on my boots. And you're like, cool, let's only hang out in groups. But if you didn't grow up in church, you might not know a lot of Bible stories. You might not know any Bible stories. I won't put you on the spot, don't worry. I used to learn my lesson. One time I asked someone and they panicked and went, VeggieTales! I like that you can inconvenience your family after you're gone. That's fun for me. Because who's going to say no to taking your ashes home, first off? Like, oh, I couldn't possibly. There's no room at my house. We're full up on haunted cups. Like, nice try. Take me home. I'm so small, right? And then if you want your family to spread you somewhere, depending on how you feel about your family, that's where you send them, right? So if you love your family, you're like, I'd like you to spread me in Hawaii over 7 days of PTO. That's what I'd like. Love you guys, miss you. And then if you don't like your family, you can be like, have you been to Toledo? In January. Actually, no, I want you to do it right between Christmas and New Year's. My mom was cremated, and after my mom died, my dad got remarried. And when my dad got remarried, he gave my mom's ashes to my grandma because return to sender, I guess. You're right, I am so sorry. Return to manufacturer, that's what it is. And his reasoning was, he was like, look, I'm getting remarried and I can't take these into another woman's home. And as his daughter, I was like, yes, you can. But as an adult woman now, I'm like, oh, no, you can't. I've dated straight men. I don't like it when they follow their exes on Instagram. You're telling me if he brought a little baggie of her bones inside and was like, this lives under the TV forever, I'd be like, cool, love that there. No, I'd be passive aggressive at best. I would probably flush a teaspoon of her every day. Just... Until one day he picked it up and was like, the urn feels lighter. I'm like, maybe she lost weight. Not you body shaming the urn, babe. You know what's funny about that joke? I don't even really feel that way anymore. I think a younger version of me felt that way. When you're single in your 30s, you don't care about so much. You kind of just want someone who's not going to bug you. That's really, in my 20s, I was so insecure, so toxic. I was like, I need to be someone's first and only true love, their one and only wife. I need to be with someone who does not watch pornography. And now I'm like, you can jerk off to your dead wife if you want. I don't care. You want to put her bones under the TV? Is the TV playing my show? Then that's great. You put as many bitches up there as you want. We'll watch Love is Blind as a family. I told my buddy Dustin that, and he goes, what if you married a guy who was still in love with his dead wife? And I was like, she's not coming back. That's his thing to deal with. You know, lock yourself in the bathroom, smell her shirts, cry it out. But we're going to Chili's at 5. And the coupon's for 2, not 3. So get it all out of your system, babe. Hell, jerk off into the urn if you want. Hey, when life gives you lemons, make cement or whatever. It's romantic. She can swallow one last time. Shame on you for laughing at that. I do think my fear of... I have a friend who said they knew Prodigal Son. And I go, oh, you know the story? And they're like, oh, no, I just think there was like a show or something. I've heard the term, right? If you don't know the story of the Prodigal Son, it's a story that Jesus teaches, it tells in the Bible to teach a lesson, right? So in the story, there's a rich dad, and he's got 2 sons. And the older son does everything right, because he's the oldest. And the younger son is like, I want my money now. And the dad's like, okay, that's not how inheritance works. I'm fully alive, but here you go. So he gives the younger son his money. Then this piece of shit fucks right off. Did I mention I'm the oldest of 4? This piece of shit fucks right off. And how do they put it? Squanders his wealth on wild living, which is Bible for blows it all on Bitcoin and lap dances. He then has the audacity to come back years later, like, sorry, Dad. I lost all your money. I suck. Can I come back? And the older son was probably like, yeah, finally, finish him. And the dad goes, my baby's home. Oh my God, let's throw him a big party. I know all the oldest kids in here. We all have diarrhea right now. I know every oldest kid in here. Your asshole went all the way inside your body. You're so upset. Just remember, these are people from the Bible. They can't hurt you. They've been dead a long time, okay? We're almost done. So the older son is obviously pissed. He's like, Dad, what? I've done everything right my whole life, and you've never even thrown me a small party. Look it up. He says that. And the dad is like, yeah, you're great. Love you. But your brother, He was lost, and now he's found. So we celebrate. And if you ask a pastor what that story is about, they will tell you that it's about how you can go off and live in sin and lose your way spiritually, but you can always return to the Lord and he'll forgive you. And if you ask me what that story is about, I will tell you that it is about how Jesus was an only child. It's always awkward getting into a new relationship, though, especially right after you've called off an engagement, because you don't feel like you can say any cheesy romantic crap ever again. Even if you feel it, you just feel like you're a jinx. So when the next person's like, I want to be with you forever, you're like, oh, wouldn't that be something? I can't use the F word anymore, but I just need to build my credit back up. But samesies, bro, for sure. New relationships are awkward because you got to tell a whole new person what you like in bed. And the only reason you know what you like in bed is because someone else did it to you first. But you can't say it like that, right? You got to do that cute little tap dance of like, oh, babe, you know what would be so fun? That's never even occurred to me before. You know what your body is inspiring me to do right now? But in your head, you're just like, do it like Craig. Could you just do it how Craig did it every time? Craig didn't do shit right. He did that right, let me tell you. Can we just call him? Can we just call him and ask? It's not a big deal. We're all adults here. Remember when we reset the Wi-Fi router last month? It's just like that, babe. He's just a voice on the phone with the password. That's all he is to me now. No, I did block his number when you asked me to. Of course I did. But when you block a number, your phone kind of just saves it in a different folder. Ooh, some of us are going to fight in the car. Not everybody knew that. You have to be able to talk about what you like in bed, and you have to know what you can and can't say, all right? Like, I've been telling guys for years, I like it a little rougher in bed. I don't say it like that. I say like, oh, I'm damaged, you know? Like, if you're a straight guy, don't say that. If a straight dude's like, I'm damaged, fucking run! That guy wants your toes in a baggie, so... Sometimes you think you like something and you don't. I thought I liked dirty talk. Turns out I just like dirty phrases we agreed upon earlier. You ever tell someone you like dirty talk and then they hit you with something in bed and you're like, nah, that was not approved by corporate. No. I was having sex with a guy once. I was on top and he just went, look at you! Like I was taking my first steps. I'm like, you better get the camcorder, daddy, because I am never getting up here again. Death has propelled me professionally. It's made me sort of a workaholic, probably. I was doing 2 full-time jobs for the last couple of years. I was touring, doing stand-up on the weekends, and then I was hosting a late-night show called After Midnight during the week. Oh, thank you. Thank you, that's very nice. Great experience, learned so much, worked with great people. I had an assistant on set, which I initially did not want. It is a slippery slope having someone whose whole job is to fetch you snacks, okay? Because day one, you're like, could I borrow a phone charger? Next thing you know, you're like, could I just grab a LaCroix? Before you know it, you're like, could you just hold both my hands until I fall asleep? My assistant's name was Molly. Molly was incredible. Molly was so good at her job, I'm definitely gonna die alone now because the standard of care in relationships is now Molly. All right? Here's how good Molly was at her job. My first day on the Paramount lot, I drive into the lot, I park in a reserved parking spot for me, and there's a big bush that's sort of growing in to the driver's side door, right? Nothing crazy, just enough to make it kind of hard to like, shimmy out, right? There's a few bees buzzing around, so I kind of did one of those before I was like, hey, nice to meet you, Molly. That's all that happened. I didn't complain about the bush. I didn't report the bush to anyone. Molly just witnessed the bush touch me a little. I drive onto the lot the next day, park in my spot, and the bush was gone. And I went, Molly, did you have them cut down? this bush? And she goes, yep, and I had them spray for bees. And I went, okay, no one fuck with Molly. She had that bush whacked, literally. I couldn't talk casual shit around her. I didn't know what she would do. I couldn't come in on a Tuesday like Dave's kind of bugging me today, because I'd come in Wednesday like, hey, where's Dave? He's with the bees, Taylor. You flinched in his presence, so I took care of it. It's my first time I'd ever had a corporate can't sleep. You know, some kids don't have beds, right? Why don't you go lay face down on the cold tile for 10 minutes, see if you're not more grateful after that? And you know what, DC? I tried it and it works. It totally works. I do it on the bathroom floor in hotel rooms. I've had COVID many times, but I want to get a handle on my anxiety, because I know if I didn't have anxiety, I'd be a totally different person. The worrying alone takes up so much mental and emotional energy every day, and it doesn't help. It doesn't prepare you for anything bad happening like you think it will. I told my therapist this recently. I go, I know worrying doesn't do any good, right? I go, what's that one quote by that great philosopher? When you worry, you just suffer twice. She goes, I don't know that one. Who said it? I looked it up. It's from a fucking Harry Potter prequel. I was so confident, I Googled it in front of her. She's like, what philosopher said that? I'm like, Newt Scamander? Shit. I think it was a fortune cookie. Can we just move on? I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Without anxiety, I'd have a totally different personality, because so many decisions I make in life are fear-based, or though so many decisions I don't make are fear-based. I watch the same shows and movies over and over because it calms me down. I know what to expect. It doesn't stress me out. I date the same type of person over and over because I know what to expect. It doesn't stress me out. If you think you have a type, you don't. You have anxiety. See someone. I have 3 binged Euphoria too fast. Because I've been trying to date women, but it is so hard. I don't know how to get women to like me. I know how to get men to like me. That's easy. You just trick them. You just wait until they kind of like you, and then you're like, you don't like me. And they're like, yeah, I do. And you're like, no, you don't. And they're like, yeah, I do. And you're like, no, you don't. And they're like, yeah, I do. And you just do that until they get you pregnant, I think. You just have to turn it into a fun challenge for them. Like, bet you can't spend the rest of your life with me. And they're like, fucking watch me, you bitch. It's like when you ask a kid to take out the trash and they're like, no. And you're like, I'll time ya. And he's like, and you're like, see, you didn't even think you wanted to do that. He's like, who cares? I'm the fastest boy alive. Hitting on women is so much harder. It feels so much more delicate. Like, hitting on a woman feels like trying to skip a stone on a lake. Hitting on a man feels like throwing a brick through a window. I'm like, I don't even really care. I just want to see what happens. I'm not going to live here, right? I might be sexist. I'm hearing it now as I'm talking. I think I'm sexist because when a man rejects me, I'm like, this idiot. But when a woman rejects me, I'm like, she probably knows what she's talking about. So I was talking to a friend of mine about it because, you know, you don't want to just like, it's scary to just say you're bisexual because then someone's always like, fucking prove it. Here's a picture of Margot Robbie. Are you wet? Let me feel. Like everyone's real aggressive about it. It's weird. You gotta like prove it to people. But I was asking my friend about it and she goes, well, obviously sexuality is a spectrum. She watched Euphoria too. But she goes, I know that I'm super straight because I could not go down on another girl. I think that's gross. And I was like, okay. Let's think about this, Taylor. Why are you not going down on a girl right now? Is it because it's gross to you? And I was like, no, it's not that it's gross to me. It's that I really don't want to be bad at something as an adult. Okay? My brother is trans, my sisters are gay, and I identify as afraid. I am so afraid of failure. I can't even stick with new hobbies as an adult. How the fuck am I supposed to get good at... Getting good at going down on women to me would be like learning how to play the piano. I would love to have that skill. I would love to bust that shit out at parties, impress everyone. But I don't have the time or humility to sit down and learn new fingerings. I don't have it. I get halfway through Jingle Bells, I'm like, fuck, I suck. I should have started at 12. I'll never catch up. I already know how to play the clarinet. It is not my passion, but I have the respect of my peers. I have met many years of experience under my belt, under someone's belt, under some belt. And when I was a kid, I didn't know there was another option. When I was a kid, they were like, you're a girl, you play clarinet. And I was like, what about piano? Could I play piano if I want? And they're like, sure, you can play piano. If you want to go to fucking hell. Anybody else religious trauma? Do we have any of that in here? Okay. I'm so sorry if you don't have any. I know I'm a broken record about it. I should shut up about it. But I keep realizing new things every year. For example, did you guys know that when you come, you're not supposed to yell, take that, Jesus? Did you guys know that? I wish that was a joke, DC. I really do. I've been masturbating like this my entire adult life, and I recently mentioned it to a friend of mine. And you ever say something out loud and realize you never should have ever? I said it so casually over brunch, didn't even think about it. I was like, oh yeah, I mean, I don't think about anything. Well, I do that. And she was like, what? She put her fork down. What? You don't think about anything? And I was like, oh, no, I mean, I think some stuff, obviously. And she was like, what do you think about? And I was like, oh, you know, just like, almost there, making good time. You know, just like road trip thoughts, like, keep your hands steady, don't fall asleep. Can't wait to get there so I can eat. Better hurry up, Taco Bell's gonna close, you know. And she was like, that is so weird, Taylor. Why don't you just watch porn like a normal person? And I was like, ugh, I don't like porn. Every time I try to watch porn, I'm just like, you gotta shave there too? I'm tired and I'm cold. And I'm not against porn, okay? I'm not one of these people that's like, if you watch porn, it'll ruin your relationship. I don't feel that way, all right? I dated a guy once who was really into massage porn, where the masseuse would like fuck their client at the end, which means sometimes when we had sex, I got a massage. That's an example of porn working for you. But my friend was like horrified. She was like, Taylor, this like monk masturbation thing you do, it is so much creepier and weirder than any porn I've ever seen. And I've seen most of it. And she goes, there are so many different options porn-wise on the internet now. You just go home and Google porn for women, okay? Just do it, I promise. Porn for women. And so I went home and I Googled porn for women so I wouldn't be weird at brunch. And a lot of surprising things came up when I Googled it. First thing that came up when I Googled porn for women was a link to Disney Plus, where all the Avengers movies are. Now, for me personally, they jump around too much. There's too many storylines. You're almost there with Loki, and now we're on Captain America. It's like, I have to start over. That's a different speed, a different pressure, and now there's a raccoon? No. The second thing that came up when I Googled porn for women was a website where real-life couples are uploading amateur sex tapes. Yeah, real-life couples are like, hey, we're so happy and in love. We thought that we would film ourselves making love and then put it online for you, a lonely person. Is it working? Are you wet? And you're like, not in the right place. No. But congratulations, what you have seems really special. But the last thing that came up when I Googled porn for women, I did not know existed. It's something called audio porn. It's exactly what it sounds like. There's no visual aspect. It's all audio. It's not really a porn star. It's more like a porn voice actor talking you through a sexy situation. It's like a podcast, except don't listen while you're driving. And because it's for women, that just means there's a story, right? Anyone can watch. They don't check. They don't just hop on the mic like, now it's out, bitch! Like they ease you into it. And so the one I found is 20 minutes long. I will send it to you if you DM me. And the first 12 minutes, the story is just a man calming you down after you've been in a car wreck. That is the foreplay. And you guys, I came so hard. I mean, I didn't even make it to the sex part. It was the comfort alone. He's like, it's okay, take some deep breaths, don't worry. The insurance companies will figure it out. I'm like, oh my God, that's right, that's why we have insurance. By the time he was like, what else can I do? Should I go down on you? I was like, nah, man, I got Allstate. I'm in good hands. In therapy, I figured out the day in my childhood I became an emotional eater. I was 8 years old and I was eating a bagel in the kitchen and my dad came in and he goes, you're going to want to put that bagel down. I got to tell you something. And that's when he told me that my mom had died. So somewhere in my brain, something clicked like, oh, when you stop eating bread, people perish. I went back to 4th grade like the angel of death. Everyone's like, step on a crack, break your mother's back. I'm like, stop eating bread, now your mom's dead, dude. They left out that second part, but I had a list when I was 8. I tell you guys that because no one told me. They pulled me aside a year later at school. Someone's like, Taylor, your teacher thinks you might be struggling with a speech impediment. I'm like, what's a speech impediment? Are you sure you have the right person? Because I'm crushing it out there. And they're like, you didn't do anything wrong. You pronounce your words a little differently. Like you say sh instead of s for your S's. Does that make sense? And I was like, I'm pretty sure I would have noticed if I said sh instead of sh. Hope you find who you're looking for. If you have any follow-up questions, I'll be on the seesaw. I know dead mom jokes make people uncomfortable. I know that. And if you are uncomfortable, I don't know what to say. You should have worked harder, so it was you up here. No, honestly, I never want to make people feel uncomfortable with that information. So much so that I used to lie to everybody growing up. I used to tell everybody that my parents were separated so I wouldn't have to say my mom's dead. And that worked very well until recently a friend of mine found out I had lied and she was very upset. She was like, your mom's dead? Taylor, you told me your parents were separated. And I was like, well, they were. By Jesus. Both her parents are alive, so she has no idea how funny that is, but she'll get it eventually, right? Like, that joke is a slow burn. Kind of like cancer, which is what got mine. Hey-o! Okay, all right. Oh, here's the deal, Boston. We have another, 6 minutes of dead mom jokes. I know, you're getting like, oh no, 6 minutes, that's a long time. It won't feel long. I've cushioned her, all right? I have laid my dead mom to rest in a beautiful casket of dick jokes and pop culture references. There's something for everybody over the next 6 minutes. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll forget she's dead. But I know a lot's happening for you as a crowd right now, because you're like, Taylor, we're good people. Good people wouldn't laugh at dead mom jokes. I'm here to tell you that if you're trying to be a good person at a comedy show, you're wasting your goddamn time. Trying to be a good person at a comedy show is like trying to recycle at a theme park. You're already in here and part of the problem. Put your hands up and have fun. And I know you're good people. You're like, Taylor, we've known you for 25 minutes. We hate that anything bad ever happened to you even once. Thank you so much, Boston. But what you have to understand is the bad thing already happened. And now I'm talking about it into a microphone in front of people who paid to be here. Which means now the bad thing is money. Do you think I'd be this successful at my age if I had a live mom? No. I'd be a creative writing teacher who loved myself, and I'd be sitting in the dark with you peasants, okay? She's in heaven. I'm on Netflix. It all worked out. That is a real thing I said in therapy. To which my therapist responded, you should come in twice this week. Some people get sad because I was 8 when it happened, but 8 is a great time to lose a parent because you're so stupid. You barely know what's going on. When I was 8, I was like, the only people I know with dead moms are Disney princesses. So like, this sucks, but am I about to get hot? Then I hit puberty and I was like, oh no, I guess God just hates me right now. That's a bummer. That's a joke. God doesn't hate anybody, all right? Not anymore. But have you read the Old Testament? Holy shit. The Old Testament is my favorite Taylor Swift album. It is banger after banger. Just like, you don't believe in me? Snakes! Look what you made me do. I'm a 20-something white woman. Obviously, I'm going to compare T Swift to the Lord, all right? She is the only God I still believe in, all right? I don't see God revamping his old shit. And let's be honest, he probably should, because the people who own it now suck. It does grow you up very quickly, losing a parent that young. I mean, I saw a dead body when I was 8, which means I saw a dead body years before I saw a dick. And that is not the order this shit should go in, according to the American Girl Body Book. Although maybe it should be, because you know what's crazy? A dick, way more traumatizing than your dead mom. Oh my God, it's so much worse. I saw my mom, I was like, that lady used to make me snacks, now she's very still. I saw a dick for the first time, I was like, oh my God, who took Jabba the Hutt's eyes? You have done nothing for me. No, I didn't say Beetlejuice even one time. I haven't seen that many dicks, and I don't want to see any more. And it's nothing against men. I'm attracted to you for some reason. But I swear to God, every time you see a new dick, there's an adjustment period, isn't there? Just a real quick, like, and we're back in it. All right. I have stayed in relationships too long because I just wasn't ready to see a fresh one. I just couldn't wrap my head around it, literally or figuratively. I just didn't have it in me. Couldn't have it in me. And I don't care how many dicks you've seen. Every time you see a new dick, it feels like jumping into a cold pool. Just like, whoa, all right, let me just swim around, get used to this one. Okay, all right, this one's deeper than the last one, but that's okay. That's all right. This is why we take our arm floaties, you know, for moments like these. Okay. Just control your breathing. Hot girl summer, bitch. You can do it. I think of the genitalia options available, I think dicks seem friendlier, you know? They're up, they're happy to see you, they're wagging. I've never had sex. It's like a front tail, right? What? I'll Google it, it's fine. It's all speculation. I've never seen a vagina, not in my own, I'm a Christian. But from what I hear, it is very spooky down there. It's just a dark, spooky hole. Like, a hole? I'm sorry, what? Every time someone fingers me, I'm like, you are very trusting, sir. Because I don't even know where that goes. That might be where I keep the bipolar. That might be where it has been. Actually, if you see any, could you scrape it out? Could you? Just like a mental health pap smear? Can you just do? Don't do that. Like, you gotta hook your finger. Like when a baby's choking, are you familiar? If you do that, it'll push it in too far. It's too late. But if you hook your finger, you swipe it, that's how you get it out. I like doing that joke because it goes too far, but you do learn something that could save a life. I just love the idea of years from now, someone being like, if it weren't for that dick joke, my niece would not be here. My favorite thing about being on a network TV show is that they would bleep all the bad words and cut some of the more raunchy stuff, which means that my religious grandparents could watch the show and it wouldn't hurt their ears as much as my stand-up does. Not to say that my grandparents aren't supportive. They really are. I think that they're doing a really good job trying to understand where their liberal, agnostic grandkids are coming from. I can't stand it when people are too hard on their grandparents. If your grandparents are trying to understand you, you got to give them some grace if they mess up here and there terms-wise. When people are like, oh, well, my grandma cannot remember my pronouns. I'm like, does your grandma remember her address? Grandma's got bigger fish to fry. The light is coming. Also, do you know how old your grandma is? I don't. Mine's been 62 for 40 years. Also, you're taking more pictures of your grandparents than you ever have before, and they've got to know why, and that can't feel good. My grandparents are the best example I have in my life of Christianity done right. They're very loving, forgiving, non-judgmental people. But my siblings and I are all agnostic because we didn't grow up with that type of Christianity. We grew up in our scary Christian house. And when you grow up with something that hurts you as a kid, you don't really want it in your Barbie dream house as a grown-up, right? I also don't wear belts or use wooden spoons. That's not a coincidence. Oh, thank God. We were all lightly abused. Again, did that joke in Sweden, thought they were gonna call somebody. There's nothing worse than admitting to a room full of people that you got hit when they got tucked in at night. It is humiliating. No, I don't keep anything in my house that hurt me as a kid. No Bibles, no belts, no bridge to Terabithia. I'm hoping the author sees this and writes me a personalized apology. I do think that when you grow up in a scary religious environment, you spend a lot of your young adulthood untangling who you are from who they wanted you to be. Like, I just came out. I turned 30 2 weeks ago. And that means, thank you. And that means that I have spent the last 14 years of my life trying to get good at this, trying to get good at stand-up, trying to have the career that I am now fortunate enough to have. Thanks to all of you, honestly, yeah. And as grateful as I am, and as lucky as I am, it has really made me, this year especially, go, oh no, I don't know if I'm going to be good at this other stuff. I mean, I know I'm a good comedian. I don't know if I'm a good person. I don't know if I'm a good parent. I don't know if I'm a good partner. This hour of material that I'm doing right now, that's like, can I have it all? I don't even know. This is not a bit, DC. I am genuinely concerned. Because I know how hard it is to do this job and be in this business and have a family. I see how hard friends of mine work at it. I also see how little work people put into it. There are a lot of people in this business who are like, you can have kids and travel. They got FaceTime now, which feels like tying your dog up outside a coffee shop and going, I can see him through the window. He's okay. And I still have a lot of childhood shit that I'm working through on my own. I don't want to put that on a kid, right? Like, I was watching a TED Talk recently. Sorry, I was watching a TikTok recently. I always get those confused. The information's still good, it's just vertical. That said, if you have childhood trauma you are still working through as an adult, you need to learn how to parent yourself as a grown-up. So I've been trying to do that in order to heal. I've been trying to parent myself. But I kind of feel like I got pregnant with me in high school. And I was not ready for this responsibility. And now I wake up every morning, totally overwhelmed, trying not to shake me. Like, okay, if I let you watch TikTok on my phone for 30 minutes, will you please stop crying? All my friends are like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I think I have colic. I kept me up all night. I love TikTok, but you know what's so funny to me about TikTok? All these kids on TikTok who are like lip syncing and dancing and like pretending they're in a music video, right? We all did that growing up, didn't we? Yeah, like alone in your room in the mirror, hairbrush, of course. But if anyone had walked in on you doing it, you would have killed yourself, right? And these kids are online, like, I hope millions of people see this. It's like, you could benefit from some bullying, I think. Might have overcorrected a bit. But I do have a lot of friends who are getting married and having kids, and, you know, they're condescending as hell. It's so funny how the same girls who used to wake up drunk on train tracks are now like, I don't know how you stay out past 10 p.m. Your lifestyle's really unhealthy. I'm like, I've seen you snort coke off a rusty bike rack. But you keep sniffing that baby's head like we all forgot. But my friends who have kids